What up, peeps? I had to make this video. I want to touch on this experience I just had to kind of reiterate on some of the things I've spoken to some of the guys privately about. And it's really about how you're dealing with public officials when you're trying to, obtain information. At a clerk's office, or you're trying to get something filed, or whatever it is you're trying to do. It's always good to have a good attitude about it. Don't be a hothead when you're dealing with these people. It's not a us versus them type situation. It's not, I had to get out of that myself when I was fighting child support back in 2016. And, and I was really, I was so frustrated, when you realize a lot of, the body attachment they do when it comes to, the all caps name, and you're not knowing it was a trust the whole time, and, how they, the manipulation they use, and in the courtroom that is, and the different tactics that they use to trick you into these different types of court orders and agreements that you don't even know you're doing. And then you learn what type of fraud they might have, committed in the court, or deception, the different types of deception, which is fraud, to trick you into the situation that you're in. I had to learn, to get a hold of my emotions. Don't be so caught up on thinking it's us versus them. Sometimes it's just us don't know what the fuck we do. You know what I'm saying? And I did a video. I'm doing this video because I just had this experience just like about an hour ago. Maybe it's actually started around the 2 o'clock hour, maybe 2 or 3 hours, 2.5 hours ago. I called the county recorder's office at, not the recorder's office, but the probate office of the judge in my court case, and trying to obtain a certified copy of the judge that's in my case, that's presiding on my case. And they didn't know. Well, it was like, first they were telling me that I would have to go to the, I was getting the runarounds, it seemed like. To me it seemed like. But I wanted to make sure I follow up on what they were saying before I, get all caught up in the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because I know not to don't get in your emotions, because you can't think clearly when you do that. And so here I was. I called up, to the probate court where he actually, where I assumed that his the judge's oath would be housed, so I can get a certified copy of that oath to use in my court case. And they didn't. It was like they don't have it there. They say, he's a senior judge. He's the guy's been a judge for years now. I think he's well over 20 years in the game now. And I forgot how many exact years, but he's a senior judge now. And it was like, I got transferring up, giving a number to someone else. Now, see, first the lady was telling me that she couldn't give. She said, we don't normally give. The first people I called said, we don't normally give oaths like that. Give out oaths like that. I said, well, it's the law that you can give, that you have to give it. That I can obtain that like that. And she didn't challenge me on it, but she was like, I just stutter a little bit, because they really don't know how to come at you like that. It's like you could tell that they really don't want to give it to you. At the same time, they want to kind of they want to make sure they cover their tracks first, and that's what she was doing. And she was like, she was going to, I guess, consult one of her colleagues or whatever and find out what she needed to do in that situation. So she got my name and number. And she called me back, and she gave me the number of this other lady that was in another county, or, some other place or whatever, another division or building or whatever, to contact her, because she said that's where his, that's where most likely he'll probably get his, be able to get his oath. And so I called the lady, and I appreciate it. I was polite the whole time. I wasn't mean or nothing. I called the second lady, and she was like, he's a senior judge, and he hasn't worked in this office for a minute. She said in years he hadn't worked in this office. So she was asking me, which oath are you talking about? I'm talking about the oath he took in order to be able to be a judge. He can't be a judge unless he can't preside over any case unless he actually has an oath on file. And she was like, she didn't know which oath I was talking about. What, because she said he's been a judge for many years now. I'm talking about the most updated one. So this one, like the one that's most updated, the one that y'all have on file is the most recent one. And she was like, she was like, she didn't have access to what I was talking about. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do some more research, because she said it. And keep in mind, I called around the 4 o'clock hour. People trying to go home at 5, and then this is a holiday weekend, so she was like, she couldn't, what from the people she talked to, she actually needed to call me back too, but she called me back in maybe about 5 minutes. It didn't take her long to call back. But because and then I was gonna cite the law to her so that she wouldn't, say anything about me not being able to obtain the copies, because they don't, like, basically as if they don't generally give them out. Because I know by law she has to, and here in Georgia she can get fined $1,000 on the first offense by not giving them to me, and any offense after that within a 12-month period is $2,500. So you get cited a citation for doing so, for refusing to give the records, give up the record. But I didn't have to cite it. She was like, she already, she's aware of the law, but she was like, she just don't have it there. So the second lady said the same thing. She said, but if I see, but she said, and nobody's here that she can actually consult to find out, to confirm anything that she really thinks. So I'm like, I was saying, and she's saying, if it's the weekend, it's Friday, it's the weekend. I say, and it's a holiday, So I said, okay, well, cool. I just call back Tuesday and follow up. I just follow up Tuesday or whatever. And I was polite the whole time. Wasn't angry, wasn't none of that, except for when it seemed like it seemed like I was getting a little agitated at first, because she was like, which oath are you talking about? I'm like, the oath of office, the one that you swear to the Constitution. I'm like, every public official has one on file. And it seemed like she was still puzzled, like she didn't know what I was talking about. So now I'm thinking she's playing mind games with me, but at the same time, I still kept my cool. I didn't go off. I didn't pop or nothing. So, so it's, just pretty much staying patient with her, whatever. And when she went to talking about the schedule, everybody's gone and it's late in the day, and, there's nobody that she could ask to find out what she can do about this situation. She had to catch, so I'm thinking I just might have to follow up on it Tuesday morning, since it's a holiday weekend or whatever. Okay, I'll do that. I said, you just have a good day, you enjoy your weekend. And I was polite the whole time. I got off the phone, and then I looked, I typed it, I went to the bar site, the Bar Association website, put the judge's name in the search bar, had his contact information, including the phone number. So I said, I'm gonna call this number. I called his number, and he answers the phone. So I guess it's his personal cell phone number. So he answers, he answers by his judge name, it's Judge such. And I said, hey, how you doing? This is Mike Roseman. How you doing? His voice dropped, like he knows who the fuck I am. Like he really didn't want to hear my damn voice on the other end of his phone. But at the same time, I don't know why. Anyway, but bottom line, I said, I'm trying to get a copy of your oath, and I'm having a hard time getting a hold to her. Where can I get your oath at? I'm talking to him, like that. That's what I'm saying to him. And he said, I don't know where you can get it from, to be honest. He said, I don't know where you can get it from. And I said, so you took an oath of office, and you don't know where your oath is housed? He said, no, I don't. I said, okay, when did you take the oath? Because they say, you haven't worked in your office in the county where you were originally was. They say you haven't been there since you're a senior judge. You haven't worked in that office for in years. So, what he pretty much, and the only thing he said to me that was helpful to me is the fact that the governor swore him in. The governor, he was sworn in by the governor, and he gave me the date that he got sworn in. And I left it at that. I was able to use that. That was enough to have me thinking straight enough to say, let me get with the governor's office. So I said, well, I'll use that, and I'll find it like that then. Okay, I appreciate it. You have a good weekend. I was polite the whole time. So then I called the governor's office, and the lady answered the phone, and I let her know I was trying to get a certified copy of, the judge's, oath or whatever. I gave her the judge's name. I'm trying to keep his name. They don't even talk about his name. But, and I gave her the judge's name, and she was like, you can actually do that. You can actually do a public records request online. You can do it online. And she told me the website. I was already on the website. That's how I got the number to call her. And she told me where to click at, go down to scroll all the way to the bottom. You should see this here, and then click on that, and click on this. And I did exactly that, and I'm like, oh, there it is. She says, so you can just put the request in there, and it says right there after you fill it in, you type in what you're requesting, and then they say 2 to 3 business days they'll get back with you on that, and they'll hook you, and they'll tell you what needs to happen, how you gonna get it. So I'm like, I kind of make that video. I'm kind of making this video to help you understand that sometimes it's just we not doing shit right. Me calling the county where I'm thinking he's at, based on the address that I saw that's on the Georgia Bar Association website under his name. I'm thinking since he's in this particular county, this particular city, this is the county he's at. Maybe that's where his oath is at. Not knowing that it's a possibility that it's not there. So it's easy for us to think that it's them when it's probably just us not doing shit right. You got to be willing to say, focused in your thinking and not being so emotional about stuff. And sometimes you following the wrong instructions, and you got to check yourself on things. See if you're doing it right. You're following the right instructions, and then you get the right remedy. So, I also, it's like I know a few guys I've talked to in the past week that have done some things that they learned from somebody else. There's nowhere in the law books, you can't even find that process nowhere. And like I probably would have found out, if I'd have dug a little deeper to find out where the senior judge's oath is housed, that I probably would have found that in the laws of Georgia if I'd have looked for it. Instead, I just made the phone calls and I kind of put 2 and 2 together and figured it out. But the thing is, a lot of times we just don't dig deep enough, and we're too emotional to figure out some things, to find out what we need to do, where we fucking up at. Sometimes it's us that's fucking up. It's not them. It's not them gatekeeping. Don't want you to get your remedies. Some of them folks don't give a damn about your case. Most of them don't even know what you got going on. They're doing their job. So sometimes it's just us. So that's how you get your remedy. Just be stable in your mind. Be stable in your heart. Don't be so emotional when you're moving, and you get better results when you're moving like that. So that's all I want to say. That's what this message is for. The end. If you haven't liked or subscribed, go ahead and do so, and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, Emerald signing out.